So it's just the cycle of life that's just out of control because you go through these little shifts in your mindset and you start making decisions based off of whatever decade you're in your age. Like, for example, in your 20s, you really, really care about what people think about you. In your 40s, you start to not even care what people think about you. And then when you get your 60s, you realize nobody was ever thinking about you. This is Epic Thoughts. Yo, what's up? I'm your man, Ramon. Welcome to another episode of Epic Thoughts. I know it's been a while, but Happy New Year. Can you believe it, man? Today is January 31st, 2023. The year is a month, our worry 1 month down in our new year, 2023. Isn't that crazy? We are already a month down. Today's the last day of January. That's how fast life goes. Life goes by quick, man. And if you don't pay attention, you'll lose and you'll miss some stuff, man. But tomorrow's February, and I know it's been a while. Do you miss me? Because I miss you. And I want to apologize for my absence again. Um, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. And you know what? We shouldn't have excuses no more in life. We should get over things and understand that life is the way it is, and we need to just move on with how life should be. I wanted to get on today because of that. Also, this is our 7th year of doing Epic Thoughts, even though we haven't been doing it consistently. We've been consistently doing Epic Thoughts, just not weekly. But this is represents the year number 7. This is the 7th year. A lot of changes since year 1. I've had my homies was on the show with me when we first started, Carla and Ivy, and in 2020 they moved to Texas, and tried to get them on once in a while whenever we can, but because of because of the time difference, and they have such a busy schedule, they haven't been able to get them on the show as often, specifically Carla. But with that being said, it's been a great time. They're doing well. You can check in with them if you check on their social media platforms. They're still heavily involved in Heritage Park, and I appreciate them because sometimes you need some ride or dies. You need some people that are going to be with you from jump, and the Finlaysons have always been those type of people who've been ride or die, and they've been there from jump. So with that being said, Finlaysons, man, love you guys, respect you guys. You guys are the world. Also, I felt like I need to get on here, make some apologies to some epic thinkers, people who watch our content a lot, always trying to figure out where we're at, want to stay connected. You guys don't deserve the amount of absence that you get from us. And it's my fault because I'm about to share some things with you in a little bit. But we're gonna do better this year. We're gonna do better on a whole nother level. Today is going to be kind of transparent. I want to share some things. It's been a while. I think the last show we did was probably November, and we've gone through the holiday season and stuff like that. And I just been having some mindset. On top of that, there's just been a lot of changes going on here at Heritage Park. One of the changes being that I personally took on the studio that you see me sitting in is Hope Recovery Center, and also people know it as Hope Studios. Anyways, the place was run by a friend of ours, Sean Kelly, who gave us an opportunity to do Epic Thoughts 7 years ago, January, 7 years ago, 2017 or 16, right here in this room. And since then, he's just been a friend of ours. We've cared for him very dearly. We've gone through life together in the last 6-7 years. And he stepped down as president of Hope Recovery Center. And in his taking on his position, the man who requires to be beaten is me. I have taken on the role as president of Hope Recovery Center and everything affiliated with it, which includes the studio, which includes all the podcasting going on. So that's been one of the things that I've taken on this year. Actually, I took it on August of last year, mid-August, and kind of just been running through, kind of fixing things, looking at things, dreaming, figuring out what this means. So this is a beautiful center. If you're in Southern California, you're looking for a place to come and chill for a day and just, you know, come visit me over here at Hope Recovery Center. Also, if you have friends or family members who struggle with any kind of hurts, habits, or addictions, we also here for that. And we have an event coming up in March, and I'll get on share a little bit more about that later. Not today as much, but March we're going to have a grand reopening, if you will. We're going to try to redecorate this place, make it look different, talk about some things that are going on in the future, new programs that we're starting up, and we're going to have a Coram Deo, which is like a worship service, but it's like if you've ever rolled with Ro in my master's commission years when I was a director, you know what a Coram Deo is. Even if you went to Master's Commission Journal, you know what a Coram Deo is. We're going to have one here March 26th, Sunday night. It's a free event. Everyone's welcome. We're going to let people in as they come. And we're going to knock this house down, man. Actually flying Carla out to do worship with me. So it's going to be a crazy event. So if you're in the area, March 26th, it's in the evening. The event starts in the afternoon, but the worship service is like at 5:30. So you don't want to miss it. It's going to be epic. So that's one of the things that's going on here. But yeah, so that's another thing that's been taking my time, has been massively taking this role on here at Hope Recovery Center, which it's crazy because it fills so many holes. It fills so many things that are going on. We have a studio that we do podcasts, but we also have a working studio to record records. And Heritage Park is still in the process of releasing music. So with that being said, it fits that narrative. It's the office space that I needed an office to kind of work out of because it was getting hard to work from home. It was very distracting there. And it's provided that. It's also provided place for other people who work with me to kind of have a place that they can come and get work done. And it's provided that. So the combination of Hope and Heritage Park has just been a miracle. It's been a godsend. And at first it was hard, and now it's kind of like we're growing into this new place where I feel comfortable. So that's what's been going on the last 4 or 5 months. Many people, the way I've been dealing with Hope, and some people say, "Are you going to get back in the ministry?" The answer to that is kind of like up in the air, because I believe that people can do better ministry wise. I believe we can do better as believers. I believe we can do better as Christians. I'm really kind of taken back. I've had this question. I kept asking this question. I don't know if it's a stage I'm in or what, but I've asked this question with not many people being able to give me an answer. And the question has been, if you take away the church service at most churches, if you take away the church service, what do you have? You know, like I've been invited to church. I spoke at a few churches. I've been helping with a couple of churches in the area the last couple of months. Just been just kind of like just floating around helping church to churches. But I do listen before you get in my DMs and say, hey, you know, you need to be grounded in the church body. I have a church. I have a pastor. He ministers to me, and we actually chat. We actually talk. Okay, just because you go to a church for 11 years, just go for a church for a massive amount of time, you know, people keep saying, well, my pastor is such and such. If they don't know you exist, if they don't know who you are, I would question if that dude is even your pastor. Like, I have a relationship with this guy where we actually get on the phone, and once a week, if not more than that, we talk. He knows what's going on. He knows what my family's doing. He knows about the kids. He knows what I'm struggling with. I'm very vulnerable with him. He walks me through things. Does he preach to me? No, not in a personal level, but it's somebody that holds me accountable, and he's someone that shepherds me. Now, with that being said, I hear his messages every week. I do. But it's more intent than that. My relationship with the body of Christ is more intentional than just going to church. And that's what church has to be more than that. And for me, that's why I asked the question, if you eliminate the service, what do you have? Do you have just a group of people that pray together, or do you even have a church? If I took away the service, it was like an eye-opening experience when we went through 2020, when it was like people were being challenged about having the service. Now I understand there's people need that service, but after a while, you gotta go, okay, the body of Christ has to be more than a 2 hour or 90-minute service once a week. It's got to be something more. The body has to be more. Life is throwing curveballs at people at all over the place. One of the things that I put on my heart, and the reason I've got back in this Epic Thoughts today is because I've been challenged. I've been challenged by myself, and I will say by God, to be more of a aggressive mouthpiece for people who don't feel like they fit in. And I've come to the conclusion, it's weird how you get to the place in your life where you feel like you don't belong anywhere. And you even try to go to church and you just don't feel belong in church. You don't belong there either. And you have like all these questions, and people will tell you not to have questions and don't question God and all these other things. And you just don't ever feel like you're in a safe place. I feel like God has given me the ability to kind of weather that storm in that matter too, to help other people who may face those same battles that I face. I've been doing ministry for many, many years. I pastored several churches, youth pastored several youth ministries. And at the end of the day, I'm never saying that I don't believe in God, because that's not what we're talking about. Is there more to God than just the 2 hour service and the guy preaching? I've been to church. I don't want to bring up this church's name, but I went to a church recently to support, and this is a mega church. I mean, I'm talking like couple thousand people are at this church. And I sat there and I almost was like, this was the worst message I've ever heard in my life, because it meant nothing. And I almost wanted to stand up and say, yo, homie, people are going through real stuff. People are going through real battles. People are struggling. People are going through nonsense and they need help. They need direction. We need wisdom. We need wisdom beyond the basics of the preaching. People do need deliverance, yes, and people need to need salvation, absolutely. But when it gets to the point where you've had those things and you still, life is punching you in the face, I believe that believers need to kind of understand one thing. And I'm learning this too. So this is not something I'm talking down on. I'm learning this at the same time. When life gets hard, that's not necessarily a bad thing. When it starts to struggle is not necessarily a bad thing, right? A struggle doesn't necessarily mean that God doesn't love you and God doesn't care. Struggle means that you outgrew something, right? If I'm growing, then certain things that fit me before don't fit me anymore. Like the book says in Corinthians that when I was a child, I thought like a child. When I became a man, I put childish things behind me. That process from being a child to a man gets uncomfortable. People get really uncomfortable when growing people start asking questions, right? When people start saying, "Hey, this doesn't make sense. I don't understand this." When I start asking questions, I start making people uncomfortable, and then situations start feeling I just start being uncomfortable in situations. That's not necessarily an ungodly thing. It's not necessarily an attack from the enemy. It basically means that I've grown. It could mean that I've grown and I moved on. Or maybe I've noticed, hey, you know what? I noticed that because the scripture talks about the way of the transgressor is hard. Once you notice that your journey is hard, maybe that's a point of growth where you say, wow, I think I don't want this way of living no more. I think I don't want to process it that way. I think I don't want to keep what life has handed me. I call my friend, shout out to my friend Tia Wood. She always says, I'm gonna call throwdown. I don't quite understand what a throwdown means, but I understand what she's saying. It's like, no, I'm not accepting that way of living. I'm not accepting that thought process. I'm not accepting that pattern anymore. And when you get to that place where you don't accept the pattern no more, you get to the place where it's like, oh, it's this growth. And so not everything that makes you uncomfortable is bad. And we've gotten to a place, there's believers who, if it's uncomfortable, it's ungodly. If it's not connecting, it's ungodly. If I'm going to church and I'm not feeling something, which is a totally different conversation, because you don't go to church to feel. Okay. You go to church to experience, but you don't go to church to feel. But people say, oh, I was in worship, I didn't feel anything. Well, you're not supposed to feel. That's probably the part of the problem, is that you're feeling worship. You're not feeling worship. Worship isn't for you, and it's not built for a feeling. Worship is a sense of gratitude towards God. But people go, I go to church, I don't feel anything. It must be under attack. Or you're in the wrong church. Or maybe it's time. Maybe you outgrown that church. Maybe you outgrown that relationship. Maybe you outgrown. There's people that I realize I stopped calling because our relationships are different. I've outgrown them. I've gotten not better, but I've grown up. Have you ever been to that place where you've grown up in things and you realize, I can't really rock with dude no more. Love him. I pray for him. I hope for the best for him, but I can't process junk like they process junk. I can't process life like they process life. And it's time to move on, those are actually good things. So with that being said, I had a mind shift change. I had a mind shift in the last couple of weeks, because I used to, for a long time, I would say in the about 2019 time, up to 2019, I lived below the line. I'm not going to lie. I lived below the line. Something was always somebody else's fault. Something was always somebody else's challenge. Something was always, it's this person, or the reason I don't get success is because the government is always cheating me, or this is wrong, or nobody likes me, and all this other stuff. And listen, I found out what those problems are. Does not necessarily mean that I beat them every day, but I know what the problem is. So when it rises its head up, I'm able to say, yo, hold up. This is not going to work out for me. I'm calling throwdown on this. I don't want to process like this anymore. So, but I will be the first to admit, in 2018, up to that time, I was living below the line. Even 2019, I wrote a book in that stage, and it hit me to the point where I'm like, yo, this is not going to get me to the next level. Listen, if you're waiting for something outside of yourself to get you to the next level, I'm going to tell you right now, you already lost, because you're living below the line. You can't get no further if you already lost the battle, because you're thinking of yourself and how it's somebody else's fault that you don't have what you have, right? It's somebody else. Listen, if it's somebody else's fault, that's below the line. And it got to the point where, I had a list. Like, dude, I had a list of people who owed me money. I had a list of people who did me wrong. I had a list of people who lied to me. Almost like I was a rapper and I had beef with all these other cats. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad it was. And it got to the point where I was like, listen, holding on to this agenda in my head of I'm right, they're wrong, or woe is me, or I'm the victim in every situation, every circumstance. Once I let that stuff go, I was able to lead better. I've been able to build, dream, grow as a person, be a better father, be a better, just all around individual, be better. When I stop living below the line and taking personal responsibility for myself. Now, listen, I'm especially talking to my urban people, not necessarily I'm talking to my urban people, because there's communities out there, there are groups of people, they're friends, and we'll look at them and call them elitists. We'll look at them and call them racist because they don't want to hang out with us all the time. Or I'm not talking about us from a color. I'm just talking about us from a culture, because we hood, we're loud, whatever, we're woo. But you know what? At the end of the day, we got to take personal responsibility. And I'm trying my best right now. I realize I'm a community builder. Heritage Park is a community building business. We build communities through the arts, right? And it's funny. I'm going to share this real quick. It's funny how we were a community of builders, but everybody wanted to do stuff on their own. Like, because we have a handful of people that really aren't successful by themselves, but they make it seem like they did this on their own. Nobody does anything without a team. right? You can't win without a good team, right? I can't get the things listen, I'm gonna give a shout out right now because I just want to be very this year is gonna be a year of gratitude. I'm giving gratitude out to people who deserve it. And I don't say thank you enough. I sent a text yesterday out to Charlie Battaglia. He plays Dean on Superficial Deep. He directed one episode. And I just sent him a text message just because I want him to know that I'm thankful for him. Same thing, Delora. I didn't text Delora, but I just talked to her right before the show. And Delora, I thank you, man. I appreciate everything you've done for Heritage Park because, dude, we need a team to get things done. Like Carla Ivy, Delora's been a great help. Heidi Martin, Heidi Bosa is what I call her. Man, I couldn't do things without you. Even Josiah, you've done some great things, and we've done some fantastic things. We just released Kevin Davis's new record, Completely Kevin, dropped last week, and it debuted at number 3 of the Christian charts on iTunes. Wow, right? But I couldn't do it by myself. And people want to be like, yo, wait till you see. If you're doing things and you don't have a squad, you got pride, man. You got pride. Like, you need community to help you get things done. You can't do everything on your own. So I realize I'm a community builder. Heritage Park is a tool. It's a business, but it's also a tool. Hope is a business. It's also a nonprofit, but they're tools to build community and bring community together. And sometimes we got to get out of our own way and understand our community may not be the 4 walls that we go to church on Sunday. Like, we act like they're gangs. They're not gangs. Like, what church you go to? Oh, I go to this church. What church you go to? I always say this joke. I don't know if I ever said it on Epic Thoughts, but I used to go to a church where the Gospel Gangsters, shout out to Chili Chill, and rest in heaven, man, Solizo, Moses Dundada. But they used to do gang signs for our church. It was Word Harvest Worship Church, and we had gang signs and everything. But that's how we treat church sometimes. Like, this the most segregated day, and it's supposed to be the most holy day. It's supposed to be the most holy day, but we're the most segregated. And it's funny because we'll even beef with other pastors based off of whatever kind of preaching that church does. It's not a community of believers. It's just competition between churches. And there's more outside of the 2-hour service. You know, there's other stuff going around. There's other people that need help. There's people that are looking for real, true believers to spend time with, to build community with. Like, there's cats who want to know Jesus, but they don't want to go to a Sunday morning. They want to come and hang out with you at a pizza parlor or on a baseball field or on a football, whatever, badminton. I'm a community starter. And as a community starter, I realize one thing I can't do is I can't be in constant comparison with other people, right? I do believe the opposite of comparing is congratulating. When you get to the point where you're not comparing yourself with others, you're congratulating other people for the success that they're doing. You're starting to live above the line. When you're no longer sitting there like, why they gotta have that? Why they gotta have that? Instead, we start congratulating them. I'm going to be transparent about something that happened this week. I start feeling away. I have a friend, and I'm not going to say his name, but if he watches, he does watch sometimes. So if he watches, he's going to know I'm talking about him. But I love him. He's my brother. He is worth a lot of money. Okay. My brother has a lot of money. And like 7, maybe 8 figures. And, you know, we're close friends. We talk a lot. He texts us, at least once a week, we'll hear from each other. And a post bothered me. And because I had FOMO, right? A post bothered me, and it was him and some of his homies, and they was going to a retreat, and they were standing in front of the private jet. Or the private plane. And I remember thinking to myself, I never get on that private plane. And I started thinking to myself, man, do he not like me? Oh, man. Oh, you know what? He never has no black people on them pictures. Man. And I started having all those below the line conversations with myself. Right. And started feeling a certain way. And immediately I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? if anything, I should be mad at myself for not busting my ass and creating the life that I deserve. He did his part. Him and his wife put their heads together. They had a throwdown. They lived above the line. They've changed some things and they're able to create the life for them. And we deserve that. We deserve that. And listen, nobody is going to hand it to you. Nobody's going to hand it to you. We have to get up off our excuses, off of our adoptive mindset, are below the line, and we got to go and earn it. We have to go and make it happen. There are kids out there who are half our age and they're making $1 million deals on TikTok and Instagram. This is a different time. It's not like we were when we were kids. People are making crazy deals at all ages on all types of things. So we can no longer sit there and say it's somebody else's fault. You've had the opportunity. It's not Trump's fault. It's not Biden's fault. It's not Pelosi. It's not McCarthy. It's not Harris. And I don't like Harris, but it's none of their faults. It's us. If we don't do what we need to do to take our family to another level, to take our churches to another level, to take our communities to another level, then it's our fault. Now, with that being said, I'm going hard today. With that being said, it's not going to be an easy journey, right? For some people, they don't know what to do. But I think for the bulk of us, we know exactly what to do. We just don't do it. Or we don't do it at 100%, right? That's pretty much the gist of it. I know what to do. I just don't do it 100%. I don't give it my all. I don't work hard enough. And I'm not talking about hustling, because I think the days of hustling are coming to the end, because a true hustler is smart, right? I used to hustle all the time. Like I used to work 15, 16-hour days only to still be broke. So then, was I a smart hustler? No, obviously I wasn't. I was doing what I can, and I was paying the bills. Everyone had a place to stay. Everyone had food. We had warm, but I was dying and I didn't have nothing else. So was I really, really living the life? And people pride me on it. People made me feel good about it. Like people made me feel good about being a hustler, because they were like, I wish I could hustle like you. And then one day I was like, I don't want to hustle. I want to be smart. I think true hustlers are smart. And I changed the game, and I was like, how can I take this little bit of change and turn it into a lot of change without putting all these hours in? Because at the end of the day, yes, money is important, but you know what's more important? Time. Because when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to ask for more money. You're going to ask for more time. You're going to wish that you had more time, and money. Listen, I'm not going back to my friend on the jet. To be honest with you, I'm also upset because I should have a jet. I should have a jet. Not for anything selfish, but listen, money is a tool. We can use money to do certain things. If Heritage Park had more money, listen, you guys stop. Listen, believer, Christian, whatever. Listen, you're going to have to stop blaming Marvel for not making movies you like. You're going to have to stop. It just blows my mind when we sit here and we complain about film and they're just making trash. You're watching trash. You're giving them the money to make the trash. And I understand the faith-based world is not making good films. They're not making good television shows. But you know what? We're not investing in them either. So we're not investing in them. So they're making what they can make with what they got. And not nobody. Listen, I'm dealing with a lot of them. A lot of them don't have money. They don't have money to pull from. They have small little pockets of supporters. I have Heritage Park. We've been in business for well, if you want to add the rap stuff, we've been in business for 14 years. We have 2 investors. We've had 2 investors in 14 years. Everybody know we here, But yet they keep talking about, man, I can't. Did you see Thor? Did you see Wakanda Forever? See, they're so woke. They're so woke. They're just ruining these movies because they woke. Okay, then put your money where your mouth is and invest in these other cats. Because with money, you get better projects. With money, you get more resources. So if we can do stuff if we have money, I'm not asking you for money. I'm just giving you, if there's a company like Cristiano Ronaldo or anybody else who has films that you were like, I want to invest in that. Invest in that and stop complaining about what the world does. The world don't owe you. The world doesn't have a responsibility to make anything for you faith-based. They don't. So why do we expect them to make something that's going to cater to us as a believer? They're not going to. They're not supposed to. And they don't have to. They don't need to. So stop complaining about it. Do something about it. We as believers, we can do something about it. This is our time. This is our year. We can do something about it. You have a dream. You have an idea. This lady brought me a purse. She was carrying a purse earlier today, and the purse was crafted by this woman in Zimbabwe. It was a beautiful purse. She took it out of the aluminum cans and trash in her neighborhood, and she cleaned it up and made this bomb bag, Zimbabwe. And this lady bought it. She was like, man, I bought it. And my sister's from the church, and we bought 12,000 bags from her. And she pre-made them. It took her a year to take it. But then she took the money from the sale and opened like 22 different shops. And I was like, dang. And got out the hood. You have that same idea. You have that same brain. You have to change things. So like money changes things. It gives you more resources, gives you more opportunities. We're working on 2 television shows at the same dang time. We're doing Superficially Deep episode 11, and we're doing an undisclosed television show that we're pitching to a network. We're doing it at the same time. At the same time, we released Kevin's album and going to a record release party on the 18th of February. I have to shoot one show, be in another show, go to Kevin's record release party and release a new album, work on a new album. Yo, I need a jet. And I'm not talking like Creflo Dollar. I got a jet. No, I'm just saying, to see what money does, and we can't be afraid of it. So with that being said, I have to stop comparing myself to other people and stay in my lane and let God deal with me here and let God bless me here. And listen, let me tell you this, and I got like 7 minutes. I got 7 minutes to get this to you. We have to get rid of that adoption mindset. We have to get rid of the adoptive mindset. We are not adoptive children of God. Jesus didn't die on the cross so we could be just sad face bummy all the time. Jesus died on the cross so we could have life and have it more abundantly. And that word abundantly is not a financial word. It's actually a spiritual world of freedom, of excitement, of never lacking, not having lack, contentment. And listen, don't be one of those people like, well, I am content. I'm not talking about content. I'm talking about being fulfilled, knowing what God's called you to do and having the room to do it. Now, with that being said, I can no longer I have to stop being acting like an adopted child or an orphan, an orphan mentality. For example, I'm gonna share this and I'm gonna shame the devil. One of my biggest traumas or one of my biggest problems I have is I project what I think people are thinking. I project that on them and believe that to be true. Do you hear how messed up that is? So I do my work. I go to counseling often, okay? But one of the things that I battle with, I project what I think somebody's thinking of me. I look at them and I'm like, they probably think I'm stupid. And then I act stupid because in my head, I think they think I'm stupid, if that makes sense to you. And it's ridiculous because, one, I don't know what they think about me, shouldn't care, and I should realize they probably don't think about me at all. So and I've worked, the things that I've been able to do through God, through this company is ridiculously crazy. It's crazy. But I need to understand I'm not an orphan. God didn't call me to be that guy. I shouldn't be shamed of who I am. I shouldn't be shamed of what God has brought me through. I need to hold my head up high and say, no. There's a song, my man Belief Melanin, I haven't listened to it a lot, but I should listen to him often. He released a song. It's you gotta find it because it's a mixtape song. It's called "Move Over, I Belong Here." It's such a great song. "Move Over, I Belong Here," because you belong here. Wherever, whatever. Listen, it's the days are over of you trying to find your space. Stop trying to find your space. You belong here. If you're in the education world, you belong in the education world. If you're in the entertainment, you belong in entertainment. If you're in finance, you belong here. So stop holding your head down, acting like you're an orphan. Pick your freaking head up. You belong here. Move over. You belong here. You need to be here. You need to be here. Stop thinking that you're not a quitter. You're not a quitter. You're an overcomer. Stop thinking that you're dumb. You're not dumb. You're meant to be here. Shout out KJ. I miss you, bro. You're meant to be here. You know what I'm saying? You did the work. You did your job. Listen, I for somebody, I hate school. I hate college with a passion. I got 3 degrees. As of Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, I'll have my 3rd degree. Why do I keep thinking that I'm worthless? This is my last week of school, film school. This is my last week of film school, and I'm sitting here thinking I don't know anything. Why? And it's funny because we know that these things are lies, but yet we still choose to believe them. We know that greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world, but yet we still listen, and we still listen to the lies. One thing, listening to the lies is one thing. Believing the lie, that's something entirely different. Why do we keep believing lies? Does it make us feel better? Does it cushion the blow of us having unmet expectations? Is that what this is? Is that what this is all about? Is that why we cheat ourselves? We cheat ourselves by pulling us out of the game before the game even starts. We self-sabotage. We don't even listen. Man, I can talk about this forever, but I ain't gonna kill it. I ain't gonna go forever. But we do this all the time. And we blame other people. We blame other people because they were able to overcome their demons. We blame other people because they're overcome their little situations. They're living above the line and they make things work. And we want to blame them. The problem is not them. The problem is you. The problem is us. We're mad at ourselves. We're mad at ourselves because we didn't cross those boundaries. We're mad at ourselves because we let stupid religion and stupid things plague our mind and keep us grounded when we should be rising up above certain levels. Yes, I said it, there's stupid religion. I'm not saying Christianity is a stupid religion, but I tell you right now, I've heard some things that people have told me that they got from their church, and I'm like, that's stupid religion. Who told you that living like that is God? It's not even in scripture. You know what I'm saying? It's stupid religion. I had a guy come up to me the other day and had this whole conversation. Well, he didn't have a conversation with me because I didn't listen to him. But he had this conversation where he was trying to convince me because I rap. He found out I rap. And he goes, there's no such thing as Christian rap. My pastor told me. And I'm like, first of all, that's stupid religion. It's stupid because his pastor told him that you can't be Christian and be a rapper. That's stupid religion. And you're going to be stuck at the level that you believe the stupid stuff. That you're going to believe the lies. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Stop looking for advice from dumb folk, from stupid people, right? I don't know. There was a moment, it had just recently happened, like in the last week or so, where I sat there and I said, why do I ask for advice from people who ain't done what I'm doing? Think about it. Right? We do it in our health too, right? We always got a big friend, and we always got to talk to our big friend. If you're big, like I've gone up and down with my weight, but it's crazy how I talk to people who are big about what to do with our food. How do you lose weight? Well, I lose weight. Obviously, I shouldn't be asking him. You know what I'm saying? We ask broke people what to do with their finances. We ask people with no college degree how to get through college. We ask people with no business savvy what to do in business. We ask people who have no sense in leadership what to do in leadership situations. We ask people who've gone to 2, 3, 4 marriages how to fix our relationship. Why do people do this? Why do we go through that? Why do we ask people with no experiences in the areas that we want to shine in and how to be better? We need coaches in the area that we're trying to live at that have success in those areas. Stop asking broke people for money advice. Duh. Stop asking people who live at home with their moms for how to make it in life. Stop asking people who who don't have a business or have failed business. It's hilarious how we meet people we go to ask for those situations, not realizing that, dog, they have nothing to give you. They have absolutely 100% nothing to give you. And not only do we believe lies that we told ourselves, and now we're listening to BS advice from people who ain't worth a damn. This is great for my first time after sharing that I run Hope Studios. Now I've said some colorful words, but it's the truth, though. It's the truth. Like, truth be told, here's truth, guys. It's not hard to write a book. It's not. I wrote them. It's not hard. It's not hard to get them published. It's actually kind of easy to get books published. But you gotta ask yourself the question with every book that you. So just because somebody came and said I wrote a book, doesn't mean that we should be we should be like, oh my gosh, you wrote a book. Is he worth anything? Does he have any common sense, bro? I spent probably like 2 hours 2 weeks ago. I'm not gonna pull it up, but 2 weeks ago I was like bored. I had nothing to do one night, so I decided to try AI out. You know. And so I got Chat GPT or Chat. I think it's Chat GPT. So I found it online and I decided to have a conversation with Chat GPT. First of all, these dudes, AI, it's here. It's not going anywhere. I don't know what adapting to AI is going to look like. I don't know what the future is for AI. I'm still on the fence. So I'm not saying this to promote or stand against or whatever. But I'll tell you this much. This sucker wrote 3 songs for me. I asked him, I just wanted to see if he could write songs. They wrote songs. I asked him to write poetry. He wrote poetry. Like, kids are using Chat GPT to write papers, you know. Let me see. What did you say? Sometimes you just have to hear your idea out loud. It doesn't matter who's listening. You just have to hear it. Sometimes you have to speak things out. Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm talking about the advice, though. Yeah, but you have to be out there. You have to put yourself out there. But the AI, they shared everything. It was crazy what they know. So I say all that to say, if you thought there was competition before, now there is more. Yeah, he's saying that's why I ask people that I don't know. Yeah, I know that's why. But then I'm taking the advice. That's where it gets problematic. When you start taking the advice, well, such and such said I should do this. And so, yeah, you just got to be more mindful of who you are. And sometimes we just got to believe what God said. That seems to be hard. And it's got to be more than what you heard on Sunday morning. You got to believe what God said, bro. You got to believe what God said about you. You got to hear it and you got to believe it. You know what I'm saying? I got to get going. I have a phone number here I need to get out to you. So we have a lot of things going on at Heritage Park. And like I said before, we have combined with Hope and we are running congruently. Hold on, I'm sorry. Gotta make sure my phone number is right. We had to we're doing some things together. But also Hope is our 501c3. It's going to be a 501c3. It's connected to Heritage Park. The job of Hope right now is to help people with hurts, habits, and addictions. We also have different things with studios, helping people get podcasts, ministers get their podcasts out. Also people who have music want to get their music out. It's the place that most people could come in and they need. Sometimes people in the hot summer needs a place to get away from the heat and have somebody pray with them. We also host Bible studies and things like that. And so when the Heritage Grace Church, the church that I was pastoring, we were in 2 locations. This was actually the second location. So we've combined it with Hope Recovery Center, but Heritage Park is still going on and still going strong. This, I'm being very inspired. This is a very inspired episode of Epic Thoughts because I've been inspired. I've been around people who fire me up. You know, my friend who got the jet, he fires me up. Charlie Battaglia and Kyle Hill, what they're doing with American Cheese, that fires me up. And Kyle Hill and Kyle McRae, they fire me up with their podcast. And just being around people, get around some people who light your fire, who get you going. They'd be like, dog, I gotta get this. There's certain artists, music artists that I don't really have a relationship with, but I eat their content up and they fire me up. And so with that being said, I'm fired up this year. I'm so fired up. I don't know if I can quench it. Like I just got to keep going, you know? And so I want to invite you with us because like I said before, Heritage Park is a community. Our mission statement is a group of people bound together by Christ, challenged with the expression, or oh my gosh, group of people bound together by Christ, encouraged by the expression of light and sound, of art and sound. So encouraging each other through music, film, and arts, and that's what we do. And I there's so many things I want to do, and we have the studio, we have the equipment, we have the time, we have everything we have. So if you're out there and you haven't, and you want to get involved, but you don't know how, or you don't have the access to do it, shame on you because there's opportunities everywhere, right? So you have no one to blame but yourself. So there's so many things going on. We have a radio station, Hope Radio 247. I'm sorry, that was the radio station we took from them. Now it's Heritage Park Radio. It's Hope Radio 247 on TuneIn, but everywhere else is Heritage Park Radio. And we've actually started a brand new giveaway. Starting tomorrow, Heritage Park Radio will be giving away $100 a day. $100 a day. Well, you're asking, how do I win $100 a day? It's very simple. All you got to do is listen to Heritage Park Radio. And you can listen to it on our website, which will be up here. It should be up here right now. There it is. There's a website, heritageparkprod.com. All you gotta do is go to Heritage Park Radio and listen to the radio station. That's all you gotta do. Listen to the radio station. And then when you hear 2 songs back to back by the same artist, not the same song, but the same artist back to back, you gotta be the first one to text those 2 songs to 848-207-2631. You text those 2 songs, text the first person to send the text wins the $100. And yes, there will be $100 given out for 28 days. February, every day there will be a winner. And I don't know when the songs are going to be played, but it will happen. And that's our first giveaway, our radio giveaway. So listen to HP Radio, go to heritageparkprod.com. Enjoy the website. The website's going to change within 30 days. So enjoy what it is right now, but you can listen to the radio station anytime you want to. You can also watch this episode of Epic Thoughts and old ones on HPTV, on our Roku, and now we're on Fire Stick and Apple TV. We also have a website that you can watch it to. It's through Heritage Park PROD. If you want to know anything about the upcoming events, the event that I talked about on March 26th, or anything like that, text us 848-207-2631. That's our community text group. We are going to be a community of believers that push each other to a world to express ourselves through art and sound. That's what it is. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great week. Thanks for tuning in to Epic Thoughts. I will talk to you soon. God bless. Bye.